Let's connect with Mr. Praveen Shah, Chief Executive Auto Division with M&M, who joins us live. Praveen, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Praveen, now there is a long debate within the two ministries. The Finance Ministry is of the view that we will not increase, excise duty on diesel cars. The Oil Ministry is of the view that they will not increase diesel prices, and they want Finance Ministry to increase excise duty on diesel cars.
Well, Nikunj, I think I will not get into the difference between the two ministries, but the fact of the matter is actually the current situation with the price gap which exists between diesel and petrol is not acceptable or is not a desired scenario. I think diesel also should be deregulated is what we feel. We have always been talking about this for the last 2 years, and the prices of the diesel should be coupled or should increase in tandem with the petrol prices. And surely, and if you look at the overall consumption of diesel by the auto industry is not very substantial, and the increase in price of the diesel should be the only way in which the government should take the decision.
Praveen, do you think the petrol price hike in the month of May helped you generate more volumes in the UV and passenger vehicle segment, as everything is diesel, and do you think this trend is going to continue going forward as well?
Ayesha, it helps a little bit, but frankly speaking, the diesel vehicles are unique. In fact, they enjoy, and especially if I talk about the Mahindra, we are in an SUV and the commercial vehicle segment. These segments are different, where the people preference and choices are for diesel. So irrespective of the price increase in petrol, there will continue to be a demand for the diesel vehicles, because these are of a different nature. Suddenly, with a change in the petrol price hike, I don't think the higher demand can be generated for the diesel in the short term. Having said that, the same situation remains for all the competitors in the industry.
Praveen, companies like Maruti have been offering record discounts to customers, especially on petrol cars. Do you think that's a threat for your passenger vehicle segment in terms of competition and pricing, and can worsen the situation after a diesel tax or a duty hike that may come by?
My view is actually each product and each company has different product segments and the customer segments. OEMs have to resort to the demand into those specific segments in which they operate. I don't think actually I can say that if Maruti is operating in this way, this is the way Mahindra should be operating, because we operate in a different product segments and different customer segments. So I would not like to comment on what Maruti resorts and what we intend to do. Frankly speaking, we operate in different segments, so the market approach and the market strategies will have to be different.
But given the way how the duty structure in India is stacked up, there's a difference of about 30 rupees per litre between petrol and diesel. Do you think Indian commuters now are more inclined towards buying diesel cars?
Well, in the short term, yes, because the overall cost of operations comes down. But don't you think this is an unrealistic scene? Never ever the price gap between the diesel and the petrol was that high, and it cannot sustain. This is an artificial difference, and as what we think, cannot sustain forever. It will be corrected, and hence as I mentioned some time back, that both the segments, the product segments which are powered by diesel are different than the gasoline. But surely if this sort of a difference continues, the customer's preference will move towards the diesel. And hence actually companies like Mahindras and others who are having their product offerings with the diesel powered engines will get some benefit.
Praveen, I have to ask you about XUV 500, and I believe it's been a great response to the Pan-India lottery. Can we expect another one in the next few months, and are you looking at upping the capacity as well?
Well, Aisha, actually, we are humbled with the response what we got in the third phase of the XUV booking. Just to share with you, actually, as of the end of yesterday, which was the third day end, we have clocked more than 9,200 plus bookings. We are very happy with this, and I'm sure actually customers are seeing the value in this XUV product, which comes from the Mahindra stable. As regards the capacities, surely we are upping the capacities. Just to share with you, during the month of May, we did up the capacities to 4,000 per month. We have plans going forward, as I have mentioned and shared with the relevant stakeholders, that come September, October of this year, we will up our capacities to 5,000, and the organization is gearing up to meet the increased customers' demand for this product.
What about Xylo? What are your production targets for Xylo?
Well, so far as Xylo is concerned, as you know, during the month of February, we came up with refresh Xylo, which was the outcome of the customer feedback since its launch. We have imbibed all such customers' expectations from this product, and the refresh has been very well received at the marketplace. In addition to that, we have added one more new variant where the powertrain is different. We have featured a lot of technology into this product, and it has been very well received, and we feel that we will bounce back with the higher numbers as compared to what we have seen with refresh during the year.
So for XUV 500 and Xylo, what is the nearest competition point?
Well, I think, Nikunj, if I may just share that each of our products in the UV personal space have its own unique and the segment and the customer demand. We have Bolero, starting with Bolero, we have an Xylo, we have Scorpio, and added to that is an XUV. Each of these products which are catering into the UV personal segment has its own the customer likes, and we do not see any of our products actually which are competing with any of these four products which I talked about. Talking about the competition, we generally do not comment on that, but I can only simply say that each of the product offerings from our stable has its own unique offerings, and customer do realize, recognize, and confirm those uniqueness, and we feel that each of these products have its own followers, and we will continue to have growth as what we have seen, the growth even during the month of April and May, where overall in the personal segments we have grown by around 29%.
Praveen, the dieselization in the Indian car market is largely due to the anomaly in diesel and petrol prices. If the government were to put parity, either by hiking diesel prices or taxing vehicles, can the shift from petrol to diesel cars in that case slow down?
Listen, it depends on the overall economic sentiment, apart from, because the growth or degrowth not only depends on the diesel, not only depends on the excise duty or the diesel rate. There are various other factors actually which are impacting either the growth or the demand of a product. So it all depends actually what is the level of duty increase or the diesel price increase happens. Added to that, what happens in the external environment actually, which is not so conducive for the overall industry in the current time and era, also has an impact on the industry growth or the demand for these products. So it's too early for me to talk about that whether it will have an impact positive or negative, or will the demand of diesel will go up versus the petrol.
Praveen, I know as a policy, Mahindra and Mahindra, they never use the word guidance, so I will not pin you down to a number. But just in terms of understanding the... Praveen, can you hear me? Just when I thought I wanted to ask him a tough question, the audio is gone. Never mind. He's back. Praveen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a tough one.
I
know there is internal guidance policy. Mahindra and Mahindra, they don't give an absolute guidance number. But if you just have to explain the environment, what you've reported for the month of May is a 28% jump in your dispatch numbers, and passenger car vehicles were up by 27%. Do you think by and large a 20% growth run rate is here to stay?
Well, I can only just simply answer, and I think you yourself have answered that it is a tough one and against the policy. But I can only simply say that the current industry forecasts were 10 to 12%, as you know about that, against which we feel that we will have higher growth than the industry projected growth as it stands today. And the first 2 months, as you mentioned about the 27 and 29% growth respectively, does indicate that we have grown higher than the industry. And if nothing extraordinary happens, we continue to see this type of growth going forward as what we expect. And the major reason for that is actually the various segments in which we operate, and the product portfolio and the new product which we have in the pipeline surely should give us an opportunity to grow.
Praveen, just final question, and a hypothetical scenario at that. If indeed there is a steep tax which is levied on diesel cars, what is it that you're going to do from your end? And would we then see an immediate price hike in diesel cars?
Well, Aisha, it's very difficult to share with you at this point in time. It will be an industry-wide scenario. Surely, depending on the type of increase, is it by way of a diesel tax or is it by way of a diesel fuel price increase? I think we'll have to reckon those situations, and it will be an industry scene. I would like to hasten to take and share with you what we will do. Surely we will take an appropriate call after analyzing the level of increase or the type of increase, and overall see what is the economic scene. Depending on that, we shall take the call.